Alright, here we are at the North Adelaide North Course on the first tee, smashing the suitcase out of this ball for 147 metres straight into the sticks. Then I chunk this chip and unfortunately leave it well short of the hole. I was super annoyed at myself on this little one actually. And then here I find out that the greens are running really slow compared to the putting practice area. Ran it past the hole and end up sinking it for double bogey. Here's the first drive of the day, and what has been the first drive in a long time, slice festing into the other fairway, and then bashing this one out, nearly breaking my back. I really need to club up in future if this happens again, but thankfully here it bounces off of the tee box of that hole and lands in some plush rough. A little bit annoyed at myself here with this chip as I didn't quite get the distance, but ended up reading the green relatively well here and nearly sunk it down for even, but then poke it in for 1 over. So now we go on to the third hole and we bash this one from left to right. This fairway does lean to the right, so you can get a little bit more distance if you do clear that tree. I got 220 metres on this drive and ended up in a sand pit, but then a nice little recovery chip here. I was really happy with myself with this little chip. It ran past the hole, nearly went in, but then I thought, let's sink it down for birdie, but it had other ideas, unfortunately. So sunk this one down for even and move on to the next. On hole 4, a par 3 of 147 metres. I hit this one flush at 125. Fell short and left myself with a 22 metre lag putt that just wants to leak left and leak left and leak left. And then this one I just absolutely smashed past the hole. If you can lip read, you can understand my frustrations. Hit the camera. This one just does me filthy here, and no more needs to be said. Putt this one in for double bogey. Move on to the next. Hole 5, 140 metres, a par 3. Absolutely smoked this one. Probably a 130 carry with a 10 metre roll, leaving myself with 140 total. And then a nice little putt here, leaks left again, and end up putting this in after it does a lap of the world 360. In it goes for even. And then on to hole 6 here, a 287 metre par 4. Pipe this one straight down the middle. You can go right over the trees if you want, but I took the risk out of this one and gave myself a nice little approach shot here. It goes 50 metres, but the pin was probably about 45, so nice little putt left here and hoping to sink this one in, and boom, there we go for birdie. Happy days. Hole 14, par 3, 135 metres. Gave this a good solid whack and got this 138. It did go right a little bit, punishing me, having to give me this little chip here that ran past the hole. Nearly got this putt in for even, but then ended up sinking this one here for 1 over. Walk on to the next one, which is hole 15, par 3, 68 metre. Little short one here. Hit this to the left a little bit and then it rolled down onto the green nicely. And then going for a long putt here, did not give this enough at all due to these super slow greens and bumpy greens. So sunk that one down for even. Hole 16, 295 metres, par 4 here. Hit this one 237, absolutely smoked that drive. And then a nice little approach shot here that I absolutely butcher and send this one 70 metres, which is a good 10 metres over the pin. Big lag putt off the fringe here. Don't read the green very well. It does kick back towards the end there. Nearly put this one in, but unfortunately have to sink it down for a bogey. There we go.